Breaking news. Military officers hold Governor Fubara family hostage as South leaders condemn emergency rule. Well, we don't know what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Nyesom Wike wants to achieve from this. But I'm telling you, this is not good for Nigeria. Sim Fubara, the elected governor of Rivers State, and his family members were reportedly being held hostage at the government house, Port Harcourt, by heavily armed soldiers on Tuesday night. It was gathered that they were held hostage moments after President Bola Tinubu invoked Section 180 of the Nigerian Constitution to proclaim a state of emergency in Rivers State. Tinubu based his move, which has been heavily criticized by many, including Ijaw groups and Pandaf, on a prolonged and rapidly escalating political battle led by the state lawmakers loyal to Nyesom Wike, who commenced impeachment proceedings against Fubara last week to settle scores in his fallout with Wike. People's Gazette quoted Rivers government source to have said that soldiers carrying out the president's instruction on declaring the state of emergency barricaded all entrances and exits to the government house immediately after the president's speech. According to the source, attempt by Fubara and his family to pack their belongings out of the government house have been rebuked by the soldiers who suppressed all movements around the premises. We are being held hostage. An affected official told the Gazette from the scene on Tuesday night that they don't have instruction to let anyone leave the premise. It was unclear whether the soldiers implemented their duties as instructed or were overzealous in following specific orders. The spokesperson for the Nigerian Army and Defense Headquarters did not immediately return requests seeking comments about the soldiers' treatment of the Fubara and his family. Tinubu's declaration to suspend the fleeing parties from office to 6 months, effective Tuesday, sparked furious debate across social media as netizens argued whether the president had constitutional grant to suspend an elected governor whom the state lawmakers have not yet impeached. Efforts to impeach Fubara began on Monday, barely 24 hours before Mr. Tinubu imposed an emergency ordinance. Lawyers like Effiong and Folare Falana has slammed the president for taking the law into his own hands without regard for the Constitution's position. The president named the retired chief of Navy Staff, Ibok Eti Ibas, as the military administrator in Rivers in the interim. The South leaders, Pandef, condemn emergency rule. Meanwhile, several South leaders and stakeholders have declared President Bola Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State and impropriety of Priestley backing the Federal Capital Territory Minister against Governor Sim Fubara and the state's citizens, according to the one-time Attorney General of Akwa Ibom State, please pardon me, Nko San. He said the decision to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State was ill-advised. The president's action is not well thought out. The situation in Rivers State has not met any of the conditions prescribed by the Constitution for the declaration of a state of emergency by the president, he falls short of it. So the president's action is ill-advised and not based on the provisions of the Constitution. For me, it is part of a script to take over the control of Rivers State, which they had already written and have been acting stage by stage and scene by scene. The former president of Ijaw Youth Council, IYC, Eric Omara Esquire, said President Tinubu took a wrong decision. He said, I strongly condemn this one-sided action, and again, removing Governor Fubara won't solve the problem. The president's intervention in the Rivers State crisis has been one-sided. His actions and body language have encouraged the FCT Minister Nwike to fuel the crisis up to this point. If Governor Fubara is blamed for not doing enough to handle the situation, what has the president done in response to Nwike's unnecessary outburst, which laid the foundation for the tension in the past week? I thought that an unbiased president should have called Nwike to order or sack him to demonstrate his unbiased position in the matter. But from the onset, the president has been biased in favor of Nwike, and that has not happened in the resolution of the crisis. Meanwhile, the APIS socio-political body for the South-South geopolitical zone, the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, said on Tuesday it was studying the situation and would soon come up with its position. A statement yesterday by PANDEF national spokesman, Chief Ominimini, read, PANDEF is seriously alarmed by the state of emergency declared in Rivers State due to a crisis that is ordinarily avoidable. We are therefore studying the situation, and we shall soon come up with PANDEF's position. According to Clarkson, the former national spokesperson of the Movement for the Survival of Ijaw Ethnic Nationality in the Niger Delta, he said, I am sure the governor would challenge the constitutionality or legality of the state of emergency, but politically, the emergency is in bad faith, and obviously, the execution of a well-oiled script affected the furtherance of the 2027 election. The president did not act like a president of the entire nation, but rather he took side with his minister to punish the governor and left out any punishment to his appointee. He executed the plan of Nwike. Firstly, Nwike goaded the Ijaw by going to their homeland to provoke them, but he did get the needed reaction. Then the next day, there was an explosion in an oil facility, and shortly before the broadcast, there was another explosion, which he hanged upon as one of the core reasons for the declaration. Also reacting, the Ijaw Youth Council, IYC worldwide, has strongly decried the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State, describing it as a clear case of oppression and intimidation of Ijaw people. The spokesman of the group, Prince Way, said, we condemn the state of emergency declared on Rivers State by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The reason being that we have states that have been boiling and grappling with insurgency. Boko Haram and herdsmen have held sway, perhaps because it is Ijaw matter. We see it as a case of oppression and intimidation meted out on the Ijaw people and the people of Rivers State in particular. And for the man who fueled the whole crisis, nothing has been done or said about him. An elder statesman and a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress APC in Edo State, Honorable Charles Idahosa, said the declaration of a state of emergency by President Bola Tinubu was an opportunity for the warring parties to find a meeting point and resolve the political crisis in the state. Fubara did not tread softly at all. All the politically hungry people in Rivers State took advantage of it by giving him wrong advice Now that the president has declared a state of emergency, this is the time for them to take the opportunity. Himself, the legislators, and the minister of the FCT should come together and find a solution to their differences. They should see if they can prevail on the presidency to find a solution to the crisis in these first 6 months, because it will be very difficult for the presidency to be calling them. Okay, he did that before, but they did not listen. The drug baron in Aso Rock should be in prison by now if Nigeria is not jagaweed. I don't think you are normal with this your stupid comment. The guy is completely right with what he said. Tinubu is my loyalist, but as things are going now, Baba is not having sense again. Okay, guys, these are reactions from Nigerians. Let me just take that one because the reactions they get us be. Nigerians are really condemning the state of emergency being declared by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in Rivers State. And Nigerians are saying President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is taking side, okay, of his minister, yes, on weekend. So guys, what's your take on this? Please, let's hear from you. Kindly drop your comments below the comment section, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Share this video, make it go viral. Let Nigerians understand what is happening today in the Nigerian political